chapter, that is photosynthesis in plants, which takes place by two steps, that is light reaction and dark reaction. In previous lecture, we have discussed about the raw material and the essential elements required to carry out this process of photosynthesis. And we have also discussed about the structure of chloroplast, which is the site of photosynthesis in plants. Now, today we will going to discuss how this process actually goes on. The process of photosynthesis actually takes place in two steps. That is the light reaction and dark reaction. Now, what is this light reaction and what is this dark reaction is? Light reaction means this particular process, this particular reaction is highly dependent on light itself. That means it doesn't take place in absence of light. While the dark reaction is the process which is independent of the light. That means it may happen in dark also. It does not need in light as always necessary, because it can take place in the dark also, in absence of sunlight also. Now that means the light reaction can occur, or you can say process that depends on light, and this is the process that is independent of light. Okay, it means it does not need light energy. Now what is happening in the light reaction is, in the process of light reaction, actually the excitation of chlorophyll molecules occurs, while here no excitation of chlorophyll takes place. In light reaction, the photolysis of water also takes place, but here in dark no photolysis of water. In light reaction, formation of necessary power to carry out the process of photosynthesis, that is ATP and NADPH2 takes place, while here no ATP formation and NADPH2 takes place. In light reaction, no formation of glucose occur. That means here actually the product is not forming of photosynthesis, but in dark reaction the product glucose form. Light reaction actually takes place in grana, that is over the thylakoid membrane, you can say, and the dark reaction takes place in stroma. So this is the difference between the two processes, that is light and dark reaction. Now we will going to discuss them one by one in detail. Now, what happens actually in this process, that is in the light reaction, is light reaction means here we are using sunlight as a source of energy. As we have already discussed, what are the raw material that is being used in the process of photosynthesis, that is CO2, water, and the essential element is chlorophyll and sunlight. That means sunlight is utilized as a source of energy, and this sunlight is actually trapped by the chlorophyll pigment, and chlorophyll pigment present over the quantosome. That means this chlorophyll pigments, they have total group of chlorophyll pigments actually present on the thylakoid membrane, and that group is known as quantosomes. Over 230 chlorophyll molecule constitute a unit known as quantosomes. These quantosomes present on thylakoid membrane, and these quantosomes are actually traps the sunlight in the form of photon. These quantosomes trap sunlight in form of small packets called as quanta or photon. Now, after trapping this sunlight in the form of quanta or photon, how chlorophyll molecule helps in the process of photosynthesis? So basically, the light reaction actually involves three major steps. First, excitation of chlorophyll molecule. Second step, photolysis of water, and the third step is photophosphorylation and formation of NADPH2. Okay, now we will going to discuss these three steps one by one. So let's discuss the very first step, that how chlorophyll molecules are actually exciting and how they are helping in the process of photosynthesis. Now, firstly, we need to discuss what chlorophyll molecules. As we have discussed in the previous lecture, that chlorophyll is a pigment which is of various types, that is A, B, C, D, E, and the bacteria chlorophyll. There are other pigments also present in plants, that is carotenoids, which includes carotens and xanthophyll, which provide different color to the plant. Chlorophyll is the only pigment which is green in color and which helps in the process of photosynthesis exactly. So chlorophyll A is the primary, or you can say the most important universal photosynthetic pigment, which actually help in the process of photosynthesis and present in all types of green plant. So whatever the sunlight is absorbed by the chlorophyll pigment, that is mainly chlorophyll A, is known as photosynthetic active radiation. Chlorophyll absorb amount of light to carry out photosynthesis is known as photosynthetically active radiation. Photosynthetically active radiation is that radiation or that amount of light which actually which will going to be utilized by the plant to carry out photosynthesis. Now this chlorophyll molecule forms two types of reaction center. Chlorophyll molecule form two type of reaction center means, since we have so many types of chlorophyll molecule, so we have classified the chlorophyll into two category on the basis of the radiation absorbed by them. That means what wavelength of radiation they are absorbing. On that criteria we have classified the group of chlorophyll into two types, that is photosystem 1 PS1 and photosystem 2 PS2. PS1 means it absorbs greater than 700 nanometer wavelength of light, and PS2 means it absorbs equals to, or you can say less than 680 nanometer wavelength of light. Fine. So these are the two photosystem 1 and 2 which actually work in the process of photosynthesis. Now whether it is photosystem 1 or it is photosystem 2, they are forming a particular reaction center. This is the center where the light trap, that means the light trapped by the chlorophyll molecules, and due to trapping of the light or due to energy absorbed by these chlorophyll molecule, the electron of chlorophyll get excited. So here we will going to discuss how the chlorophyll electrons are exciting from its ground level to its higher energy level. For example, this is the reaction center, whether it is photosystem 1 or it is photosystem 2. Here it is getting sunlight energy, and due to the sunlight energy or due to the solar energy which the chlorophyll is getting, the electrons from the chlorophyll molecules which is present in its ground state is actually excited to its higher state. Now how it is exciting? Actually there are so many chlorophyll molecule. So from one chlorophyll molecule, if any one chlorophyll molecule is absorbing the solar energy and if it is exciting the electron, so it pass on that energy to the other chlorophyll molecule, because it includes both pH system 1 and 2. If more than 700 nanometer wavelength light is being absorbed by the chlorophyll molecule, then it passed this energy to the other chlorophyll which is absorbing actually lesser wavelength of light. So on this basis, all the chlorophyll molecule present in the reaction center gets excited, and all the chlorophyll in bulk pass on this energy to the another electron acceptor. So what happens? This electron in its excited state, now it pass on to the electron acceptors. That means first electron acceptor, that means the molecule which is present in plants itself only, that means in the chloroplast itself only, or more precisely I should say present on the thylakoid membrane itself, because these photosystem made up of chlorophyll molecule present on the thylakoid membranes only, that carries out the light reaction. So here there are electron acceptor which accept these electron which is coming from the excitation of chlorophyll molecule only, and these electron acceptor will then passes this electron to the other reaction center or to the other compounds, and due to electron excitation from the chlorophyll molecule, it has the vacancy of electron, and इसमें जो electron की vacancy होती है, it will get fulfilled या overcome by the second reaction, the second step, that is photolysis of water. Now this sunlight which is absorbing by the chlorophyll molecule, this same sunlight is also lysing the water molecule. This is the first step, photo excitation of chlorophyll molecule. This is the second step. This is second step, which again is causing by sunlight. Now this is the reaction through which the water is splitting up into H plus ion, oxygen and electron. Now from here what we are observing is oxygen is evolving in this particular reaction only. So that is why we can say that in photosynthesis, the byproduct oxygen which are getting in the equation of photosynthesis is actually evolving from water only, not from carbon dioxide. Here the electron which is exiting out, these electron is then utilized again by those chlorophyll molecules, because chlorophyll molecule में जो electron excite हुए हैं वो ऊपर चले गए किसी electron acceptor. So now the electron vacancy has been created in the chlorophyll, and it overcomes its vacancy from these electron which is producing by the lysis of water due to light. Photolysis, that means the lysis of water in presence of light. So now here this photolysis of water is actually happening in order to overcome the losses of electron by the chlorophyll molecule, as well as here the H plus ion which is releasing out. Now it will going to be help in the formation of ATP and NADPH2 also. So this is the two steps, very first step, first and second step is being performed in the light reaction, that is chlorophyll excitation. Whenever the chlorophyll excited, that means it has trapped the sunlight. Chlorophyll excitation takes place, then only the photolysis of water is also happening, and then after obviously the formation of ATP and NADPH2 will going to take place, because these are the assimilatory power which will going to utilize in the formation of carbohydrate from CO2. That is the reduction of CO2 into carbohydrate, and that takes place in the second reaction, that is in the dark reaction. So light reaction is actually the preparatory process or preparatory step where some assimilatory power or some assimilatory energy is being prepared to form carbohydrate from carbon dioxide. Now here the third step, that is photophosphorylation. Photophosphorylation means ATP formation in presence of light. And where does it take place? This photophosphorylation occurs at thylakoid membrane. Thylakoid membrane पे होती है ये. This photophosphorylation process is of two types. It is actually of two types, cyclic and non-cyclic. Fine. That means it takes place in two manner. Some in few of the plant, this photophosphorylation takes place by cyclic mechanism, and in few of the plant, this photophosphorylation takes place by non-cyclic manner. Actually, in many of the plant, yeah, you can say in majority of the plant, this process takes place by non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Why? Because in this both ATP and NADPH2 forms, but here only ATP forms. Fine. So non-cyclic में ATP और NADPH2 क्यों बनते हैं? Because here only the photolysis of water occurs, but in cyclic no photolysis of water takes place. So that's why here no NADPH2 form. Since here no requirement of NADPH2 is occurring, here no requirement of NADPH2 occur, that is why here the water does not split up to so that here the water splitting does through water splitting the hydrogen is not utilized to form the NADPH2. So basically what is actually non-cyclic photophosphorylation? Here PS1 and PS2 both involves in this process, and here only PS1 involves in this process. Fine. So photophosphorylation, which is taking place on the thylakoid membrane, this process actually requires hydrogen ion. Why? Because over the thylakoid membrane there is a hydrogen pump, or you can say the proton pump is present. That proton pump drives more H plus ion from here due to photolysis of water which is occurring, and this proton ion utilized by the proton pump to produce ATP through the ATP synthetase complex system that is present on the thylakoid membrane itself. Okay, so through the photophosphorylation we are only forming the ATP process, ATP, that is energy currency of the cell, and the NADPH2, that is reducing agent. Now in this third step, this 4H plus ion which we are getting from photolysis of water is utilized by NADP to form twice of NADPH2 as well as ADP plus inorganic phosphate combines to form ATP, and both the reaction takes place on the thylakoid membrane itself. So in this photolysis, in the whole three steps, we have completed the light reaction. During this light reaction we have done the chlorophyll excitation, because through this only The chlorophyll can able to trap the sunlight in the form of photon. Then after the photolysis of water, this photolysis of water actually is releasing proton, oxygen and the electron. This electron is neutralized by the chlorophyll to overcome its losses of electron. Oxygen is evolving as a byproduct, but moreover this oxygen is also very helpful for we consumer. Then H plus ion is released, that is proton ion which is releasing is utilized in the third step, that is formation of NADPH2 and the formation of ATP, that is photophosphorylation. So okay, this is all about the light reaction. The second step now we will going to discuss, that is dark reaction.